Yes, everybody, Russ on the West Ham Network. Hope you're all safe and well. Just saw out my little. I'm already short. Don't look too short. If you're new and here, give it a like. If you come in, give it a share. Join the army. Join the West Ham Network Barmy Army and become a member or subscribe. It's completely free, and over 25,000 of you already do. So thank you very much for your continued patronage. But it's Hammers Headlines in association with the KUMB.com boys. 4 stories today, you lucky bastards. A couple of transfer rumours, of course. This morning, I spoke about the Saudi Arabian right back, Abu Hamadi, who we've apparently been linked with for around £3 million, which seems a bit of a bargain, in all honesty, for the 36 capped Saudi Arabian international. And then at lunchtime, did the Rusty Move roundup for Monday. So about half a dozen players, the latest developments, give you our rumours, and yeah, all that stuff. We are currently at 117 players we have been linked with since the beginning of the, not even summer transfer window, since the beginning of May, well, sort of end of May onwards, basically, which is absolutely crazy. And we're going to talk about 2 of those 117 today, as well as talk about a little bits of development in terms of Naya Ged's impending departure, and Ben Johnson, who could be signing a new deal. So let's crack into it right away. What should we start with? Let's start with the rumours. Let's start with the rumours, shall we? So West Ham are apparently back in, very keen for Kean. So we got rid of one Moise. Another Moise could be coming back, so to speak, in the shape of Moise Kean. It's been reported that West Ham are showing interest amongst a number of other clubs for the former Everton striker, according to journalist Eduardo Mecca. Moise depart. I'm going to have to say confusing. Kean, was to say Kean. Kean departed Everton last summer on a permanent deal after making just 32 appearances during his switch in 2019. 24-year-old returned to Juventus in a £25 million deal. I think it was a loan deal beforehand, and struggled to really find any form. So sounds perfect for the old West Ham. He hasn't scored in the last 20 games. So that's absolutely perfect. Now it's just emerged the Hammers are interested in bringing him back to the Premier League, but face competition apparently from Atletico Madrid, Sevilla, who've got no money, Bologna, Lazio, Roma, and Fiorentina. So personally, I'd give Moise Kean a wide berth. He's out of form. And in terms of who we need people who are going to hit the ground running. And I don't think Kean is that person. Maybe we should prioritise, the likes of Yusuf Nesri, Sami Omar Nori, Sami to his friends from Atletico Madrid. Particularly with, I think, Nesri is probably the one who could hit the ground running. But as I said at lunchtime, maybe Sami has more potential, and the likes of Luis Guillermo, who we've obviously recently purchased, is one we bought for the future, with potential rather than the finished article. I think there's something quite exciting about buying a player who isn't there yet, and then we can see them develop. Someone like Jared Bowen, Jared Bowen is now, in my opinion, at the peak of his powers. He had a fantastic little cameo yesterday for the England game, and we've seen him develop from a player who we bought from Hull, then was in and out of the squad for the first bit. He wasn't getting all the game, and then he sort of hit the ground running. And last year, just absolutely took off with so many goal contributions. That's what I want, but what you want, you don't always get, innit? Elsewhere, let's talk about another player we've been linked with, and it is a left winger for once. We tended to be linked with a lot of right wingers, but this one is an out-and-out left winger. But what was Samba Steinden needs to work his magic, I think, a little bit on this one, if new reports are to be accurate. So West Ham, we know, are targeting strikers and left-sided attackers as two sort of several new additions to the squad. We've been linked with the likes of Matthias Soulier, who apparently was still very much in. We've got John Arias Arias for the 26-year-old Colombian international, Jota Silva, who apparently has interest from Jose Mourinho at Fenerbahce. And most recently, well, we have been linked to Reece Nelson for a while, but a little bit more recently with Reece Nelson wanting to move on to pastures new from Arsenal. Now, a new name can be added, and it's this gentleman here. West Ham, apparently, according to the Sunday Express, have moved for the Barcelona star Ferran Torres, but Steidem must work his magic. West Ham have been alerted to the availability of the former Man City player by Barcelona, and the report states that Barca, basically, they're trying to sell. They want Juan Cancelo from Man City. Man City aren't budging on their valuation. I think it's about 25-30 million pounds for him. And they want to sign him on a permanent deal. So they're trying to sell assets to get that money. And the 24-year-old Spanish international is one of those assets, apparently. For me, he fits the bill perfectly, ready to go, young as well. And you probably get him for a really good price. And with Barcelona willing to accept around 30 million for him, I think that's a really good price for him. He's a very good player. He's left-sided. He also can play up front as well. Two birds, one stone. We won't have it all our own way. The likes of Newcastle, Aston Villa, and Spurs may rival West Ham for Torres. He's a player which Pep Guardiola had a lot of admiration for, and really sold him on because he wanted to go back to his homeland. And he actually quoted, I think it was one of the interviews, Pep said he could become, Man City's new Sergio Aguero before obviously having to go, when he signed from Valencia, but he had to reluctantly sell him to Barcelona as the player wanted to go back to Italy for personal reasons. So, look, it's great that we're being linked to these players. The next one is, can we get these players over the line? There's no doubt he's a great player. It would excite us all. So can play up front, can play left wing, and it's going to take a bit of Steindon magic, the magician, Tim Steindon, to get this one over the line. And let's talk about some current players, or hopefully current players, one departure players. The current player, and hopefully will continue to be a current player after 2 weeks' time, is Ben Johnson. Now, according to who said this one? There's a couple of sources actually. He rejected apparently Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace has put a offer request in for him to take over after his contract with West Ham comes to an end at the end of June, and he's rejected that in favour of staying at the London Stadium. He is set to sign apparently a 5-year deal, a fresh 5-year deal by the club. Apparently Palace, Rangers and Leeds were just 3 of the clubs who declared interest in signing a 24-year-old on a free transfer, but now all appear set to be rebuffed by Ben Johnson. He apparently is keen for a fresh start under a new head coach in Julian Lopetegui, and looks set to be a member. He did look set to be a member of that sort of departing list of players, having been linked with a plethora of clubs, including Everton and various others as well. But his decision to stay, personally, is a massive boost for the squad. It's a massive boost for the club as well. He not only is included in the quota for homegrown, but also the quota for academy-grown players as well. So hopefully that will be announced soon. A 5-year deal for Ben Johnson, apparently. Fair play, fair play. Tim working his magic once again. And lastly, let's talk about a departing player. We've seen a few leave already. The likes of Tila Kira's left, and Ogbonna, a lot of centre-halves have left, or defenders. And we know that Agard has, by all accounts, his heart set on a move away from West Ham this year. Apparently, West Ham are in talks with a number of clubs, multiple clubs, for the £35 million sale. That is the price being set. Ren and Len, and Long, rather, not Len, not Canning Town Len. What? They'll pay £35 million for Naif again. I meant Long, not Cannington Len. Ren and Lon are both working on permanent deals for the 28-year-old, as he's looking at potentially return to France. Sources say the Hammers are keen to sell him and will hold out for their £35 million price tag, having signed him for £30 million a couple of years ago. Atletico Madrid are also of interest interested in Naif, as well as interest from clubs in Saudi Arabia have lingered since last year. I just don't think Ren and Lon are going to pay £30 million for him. £35 million. I think Atletico is probably the most likely destination. But it does look like, the fact is his contract runs until 2027, so we're in the ascendancy. So, in terms of the negotiations, it's going to take a sizable fee to get him off our books. Personally, I still think there's a career at West Ham for him. Much like Ben Johnson, a fresh start. I think a fresh start for Naif under a progressive head coach. I almost said manager there. Progressive head coach like Julian Lopetegui, possession based. I think then he comes into his own. So we'll see what happens. And that is it, my friends. Thank you very, very much for your time. As per usual, don't forget to check out all our little videos we've done today. Let's move that picture of Naif. There we go. And keep an eye on the channel. There's going to be loads more, particularly, more and more links. I said we're almost at 120 already, and we've still got a few months to go. Absolutely crazy. And obviously, that's before the sort of the critical period of the end of June, because a lot of clubs have to sell in order to comply with their PSRs, FFPs, because the what's the words? My brain's gone. Basically, got to sell a lot, and also a lot of players are out of contract at the end of June as well. So we've been linked to a lot, particularly third choice goalkeepers. And also, don't forget to check out neesandonbrand.com for your latest news reviews and opiniones. Anyway, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, and I'll see you soon. Much love. Bye bye.